We don't have a terrible work culture. 996, right? Don't think technology will solve everything.
Hello, sir. May I ask you some questions? Do you have a second? I'm a content creator. Yeah, so what do you do for a living?
I work in the IT industry.
Which business?
For an insurance business.
So how long have you been in this job?
For about 10 years.
Your company is in China?
No,
or?
it's not based in China.
Okay, this trip is business trip.
Vacation trip.
Vacation trip. Yeah, where are you from?
I'm Austrian.
How to have a good life?
Study hard.
So you are studying hard.
Yeah, but not necessarily when you're young. I did my university education when I was an adult, when I was in my 30s. Perseverance is important, studying hard, working hard, not giving up, even if life throws you something bad in the way. Just don't complain and get on with it.
So what's the difference to business between your country and my country?
We don't have a terrible work culture. 996, right? You could make the argument we tend to be fairly lazy when it comes to working. It's a different mindset altogether, like how people, I think, approach business. When in Europe, your work is almost a means of, getting through life.
So what's the difference between your country and my country in your career?
I don't deal a lot with China, but I would argue there's a lot more. Innovation is a strong word. There's a lot more trying out new things that I think are more prevalent in China than in Europe or somewhere else. Because we tend to do things slow, bit by bit. While here, there is a big difference between the two countries.
So what do you think is the development of China in the next 5 years?
I'm not a political scientist nor an expert on it, but what I would hope to see is that the country opens up a bit more and does better PR externally. Because I think a lot of people in other countries think of China as being almost like evil or doing something bad, but the country is not, right? It's a lovely place to visit. And I think if more people would recognize that, it would be very good. I think most people think of China still very much a developed country, living heavily oppressed and being somewhat backwards, creating products of inferior quality. But I think once you travel here and you see an airport like Daxing Airport, right, it suddenly becomes very obvious that it is not.
No offense, I'm just curious about it. What's the amount of money you ever made in a single year?
I don't want to answer
Per
the
year.
question. I don't want to answer the question because I'm sure my employer will not allow me to disclose my salary. Enough to live off, I'd say.
Okay. Are you busy with your work?
Yeah.
Do you sleep late?
Depends on definition of late, but yeah.
How do you keep healthy? How do you keep a good condition?
I sleep a good amount of time. I go to bed at 11 midnight and I wake up at 7 to 8. So I get my 8 hours worth of sleep. And I think that's important. But then again, I like my job. I'm busy, but it's not bad. But when I go home, I read, I study.
真的很羡慕外国人不被工作捆绑，不像我昨晚根本没睡。
这男人一过25岁，真的明显能感觉到一熬夜，第二天的状态真的很差。像我经常不是出差嘛，然后又是过夜航班，作息又不规律，第二天起来皮肤是又差又蜡黄，而且又松垮。最近见朋友都说，感觉直接老了3岁了。但你说像我这样的工作状态，不这样昼夜颠倒，不熬夜是实在没办法，工作需要啊。我就观察这个头等舱里的人，他们都用什么来护肤嘛，还真让我发现了，就是这个雅诗兰黛小棕瓶精华，我也给自己买了一瓶。这小小一滴管就蕴含亿万专利抗老滤波肽，能直接深入细胞底层调节肌肤，昼夜节律。这在飞机上虽然人还没有睡，但肌肤细胞已经美美睡了一个美容觉了，猛猛的自我修护新生。我这不是先试用了3天吗？明显感觉第二天起来脸亮亮的，润润弹弹的。坚持用下3天，感觉皮肤确实不一样了，小细纹也不见了。毕竟只有好的状态，干什么才能事半功倍呢？缘分就是这么奇妙。
大哥又坐在我旁边了。
What's the content of this book?
Henry Kissinger's recollections of the opening of diplomatic relations between China and the USA.
Police? Okay. Could you recommend to younger generation one book?
One book? Oh my god. If it's about business, I think it's Daniel Pink, Drive. It's about how to motivate people at work and what makes people fulfilled in their jobs. I think that was a really good book I enjoyed reading.
What's the meaning of life? What do you think?
Oh my god. I think that's a scientific way of looking at it, the human way of looking at it. Being a good person, making sure people around you are not offended by you, and just contributing to society, to life, or gets the same chances.
What's your major? University.
Basically computer science. So I did computer science, did an MBA after, now I'm doing a master's in cybersecurity, so it's kind of business and technology.
So you're a master?
Yeah.
Australia?
I did my MBA in Austria, but I did my postgrad education in the UK.
What do you think the education is mostly important?
I mean, there's multiple aspects to it. In terms of education, where to study, where there's the best students, because I feel like nowadays teachers don't teach you something you can't learn yourself, but the students you surround yourself with are what really makes the difference.
So education, skill, or ability, which is mostly important?
Motivation, I'd say. Motivation and skill, probably best.
Skill.
Education and skills can be learned. If with good education, you get good skills, so it works together.
So how did you improve your competitiveness with your job?
You're asking me tough questions. Making sure you stay up to date, as in keep up with new technologies, learn them. That's on the skill side. The other thing would be on the people side. Make sure you talk to people, connect with people, have good connections. I think that is very important.
Would you say anything to young people who want to work this job?
Because I work in the technology sector, so don't think technology will solve everything. Humans are still very much necessary. And as much as we like to use artificial intelligence and everything, they are important, but don't forget the people that build these things and how technology impacts people, because that is going to be important when you have to sell or convince people in your company about which technology to invest in, which technology to choose. So for us computer scientists, it's sometimes easy to forget that there's people. Computers are easy to handle, right? They don't say no. But the human aspect of technology is important.
I want to know what's your job detail.
You mean what I do?
Yeah.
What my job is?
Yeah.
Because I'm the head of an IT department, so my job is making sure that things are running operation-wise, that the people who work in my team are motivated and deliver high quality of products, high quality of service, that the rest of the business I work in knows what we do and knows that we are helping. So it's a lot of coordination. When I go into the office, it's a lot of making sure I coordinate between my team and the rest of the company. And I always feel like I don't do much. I'm just basically a secretary for what's going on. So that's kind of what I do.
Why do you choose the Dubai work?
I love Dubai. It's a very safe city. It is somewhat modern on the surface.
I went here last year. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Did you like
last
it?
year. Futuristic.
On the surface. Like you see a lot of nice things, but sometimes under the hood it's a bit old-fashioned.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.